Welcome to Informatica Customer Support's Multimedia KV session. My name is Vimal, and in this topic, I'm going to discuss how to configure and use Microsoft Excel client to access the data from a deployed SQL data service. As you might be aware, there are multiple clients that can be used to access the data from a SQL data service using an ODBC connection, and one of them is Microsoft Excel. And as part of today's agenda, I'll be briefly having an overview of a SQL data service created in the developer client, which has been deployed to the data integration service, and how to configure the ODBC using the Informatica native ODBC driver, and how to configure and use the Microsoft Excel client to invoke the ODBC DSN that was created and access the data from a SQL data service. So as part of this demo, I have imported an Oracle table into the developer client and exposed it as a virtual table. And this virtual table has been assigned to a SQL data service, which will be deployed to the data integration service. So now let me take you to the developer client as continuation as part of this demo. As you can see here, I have already created a table called A1, which is an Oracle table which has been imported into the developer client, and it has two columns called ID1 and ID2. And I have associated this table called A1 to an SQL data service as a virtual table. And if I click on the schema here and on the data access mapping, you can see that this A1 table has been exposed as a virtual table, which can be queried if need be. And this SQL data service has to be deployed to the data integration service. So now let me proceed with selecting the domain and the data integration service to which I want to deploy this data service to. So as you can see, the DIS underscore 951HF3 has been selected as the data integration service to which I want to deploy this um, SQL data service. And I'm going to give the name of the application as application underscore Excel2. And it is creating the application here. And as you can see, this application has been successfully deployed to the data integration service. Now let me return to the PowerPoint presentation. And as the next topic, I will be taking you to the ODBC Data Source Administrator, where the ODBC DSN will be created by using the Informatica Data Services ODBC driver 9.5.1. As you can see, I have opened the ODBC Data Source Administrator. Click on Add, and here I'm going to choose the Informatica Data Services ODBC driver 9.5.1 as the driver. Click on Finish, and here you can populate the name as any ODBC DSN that you want to give the name as. So I had given the name as Excel underscore data, and then I need to populate the host names, port number, the data integration service name, the SQL data service name, username, and the password. So let me populate these parameters. So I have populated these parameters, and I'm going to click on test connection to check if the connectivity succeeds. The connection is successful. Then click on OK, OK, OK. And the next step as part of this demo is using the Microsoft Excel client to invoke the respective ODBC DSN and accessing the data from the SQL data service. So now let me open up a Microsoft Excel workbook. So now, as you can see, I have a Microsoft Excel workbook open, and click on the Data tab and click on the From Other Sources option and click on the From Microsoft Query option. And here you have to choose the ODBC connection that you created. And if you remember, I had created the ODBC DSN as Excel underscore data. Click on OK. And you have to provide the username and password with which you can access the SQL data service here. and I'm using the username password. So now it has connected to the SQL Data Service, and as you can see, the virtual table name has been listed with the columns. I'm choosing both columns whose data that I want to see, and I'm saying okay, continue, continue, return data to Microsoft Excel, and click on finish. And the data from the table, and click on OK here, and for the table, and the data from the virtual table should be returned to the Excel workbook here. And as you can see, the data has been returned to the Excel client. So with this demo, I have shown how to configure the uh, Informatica data driver and create an ODBC connection in the ODBC Data Source Administrator, and how to use the Microsoft Excel client to invoke the DSN and view the data from a SQL Data Service. This brings to the end of this demo. Um, we would love to hear back from you with any feedbacks and suggestions. Thank you very much.